أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
The azan, or the Muslim call to prayer, was something I grew up hearing and listening to all my life, like many Muslims do. Whether it was live in a masjid or off one of those little clocks a family member brought home from an international trip, I loved it. I love it. It often felt like a call from the divine to a place deep inside of me, a call. And even when I didn't know what was being said, I always felt it vibrate through me, and there were more to words than I could put to. On the Brink memory number 1 was the azan. On the Brink memory number 2. This is a memory of me in 6th grade. I'm sitting there with my fingertips bright orange with henna, recently marking an Eid celebration. My substitute teacher, who doesn't know me, doesn't know where I'm from, looks at my fingers and says, "Oh, what is that?" And enthusiastically I reply, "Oh, it's from my holiday." Her reply is simply, "Oh, you're Muslim," both asking me and pointing it out. Everything about what she says in that moment makes me feel all these feelings, but I have no words for it. She implicates me in something. What it is, I don't know yet. Sometimes you feel so many things, but don't have the words to name what it is. On the Brink memory number 3. It's 1995-ish, and I'm on vacation with my cousins and my aunt and uncle in the Poconos. My cousins, a couple years older, are way more concerned with a lifeguard than with swimming like I am. I don't really get it. He just had this weird pinky toe. That's all I can remember of this guy. A couple of days later into this vacation, we are joined poolside by a crew of women. Are they also grown-up cousins? Girl cousins on vacation together? They feel a little bit like goals to me. I'm partially kind of obsessed with them, but I can't figure out what it is that has me so concerned about what they're doing there. And then later, I hear one of my cousins call them dykes. I don't really know what this word means, but I kind of have this idea that I shouldn't be affiliated or associated with the feeling that it gives me. Sometimes we have so many feelings, but don't have the words to put to them. Sometimes we have words to describe or talk about us, but they fail to capture us accurately. Sometimes we're given the words for who we can actually be, but they fall short, and yet we continue to exist. And our existence pushes on language and for words to take new meanings to capture us fully. When I thought about what I could bring to the theme of On the Brink, I was a little, sometimes more than a lot, concerned, worried, what can I bring uniquely to this topic? More than that, when I thought about On the Brink, I thought about an edge, a cliff, a moment historically, socially, where it feels like we are so on edge, it feels dangerous to be on the brink. Where a moment in history where some of our identities make sense, or we're told that it makes sense, or that we can exist. My identities are multiple, hyphenated. I am the daughter of immigrants, hyphen, I am a Muslim, hyphen, I am a queer woman, hyphen, I am a working class American. For so many of us, we are told to hold all of them at once is too complex and too complicated. Most of the time, I feel like I am pushing on the imagination of most of the people around me. I am pushing on borders and boundaries. Oh, it must be so hard and difficult to be gay and Muslim? Well, here I am, aren't I? Before I could hold all my identities at once, before I felt the need to reconcile them or love them in completion, I only had words for the feelings that I was experiencing, for things like Islamophobia and homophobia. But it didn't mean I wasn't experiencing them, it didn't mean that they weren't real, it didn't mean that they didn't exist. Like in that moment in 6th grade, when my teacher said to me something about being Muslim, she pointed a big finger at shame and at guilt and this awkwardness that I had about being Muslim, but I didn't actually know that I had that. But every message that I was experiencing and having day to day was reinforcing it. Bias becomes embedded in us, and then it gets expressed in the doing in our interpersonal settings. When she asked about my being Muslim, she pointed a big finger at that shame that had been swirling. In 1993, when that happened, the first World Trade Center bombings had happened a month before we celebrated Eid. And that wasn't the first time I felt insecure or awkward about my being Muslim. I grew up in New York City with kids on my block and kids on TV shows having things that I wanted. Christmas trees, accentless parents, grandmothers who wore sneakers. But I tried and I tried to divest myself from my faith. And I tried so hard to resist coming out Muslim. And I tried, and then I realized I couldn't. I couldn't divest myself from my faith even when I tried, and I only learned that when I started coming out, Muslim, coming out as a queer person. Much like that lesson, that informal lesson I had in the pool in the Poconos, every lesson about my queerness was much like my lessons about being Muslim. There was shame, there was guilt, there was fear and restraint that I was taught. Every conversation we had at home about affection and relationship goals or futures left me out of the equation. I didn't want a boyfriend, I definitely didn't want to get married off to some man, and I definitely didn't want to leave my parents' home. In my mother tongue Dari, my father tongue Pashto, and in English, I didn't have the words for who I thought I could be, wanted to be, or could become. Fast forward, I am now a sexuality educator, and I'm pretty sure one of my underlying draws and reasons for being a sex educator is so that I can be the person I didn't have, whether it was at home or at school. What if I, as a teacher, could be that person for all my younger and former versions of myself? And by the grace of Allah, I get to do this day in and day out. The work that I get to do as a sexuality educator allows me to work with other people to tap into their gender identity, to the understanding of their sexual orientation, their inner landscape. You can't divest yourself from the inner parts of your being. And for some time now, in this country, we had been making great strides on allowing people to understand that being lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, two-spirit, queer, questioning, undecided, unsure, intersex, bigender, non-gender, asexual, pansexual, gender non-conforming, gender fluid, gay, were all possible. And even then, and in preparing for this, I'm reminded that innovative language is still necessary for us to name ourselves, by ourselves, for ourselves. But here's the curious thing. When I come out as Muslim, I am not offered the same multiplicity and variation and space in the imagination of being when I tell you that I am Muslim as I am when I'm queer. And I don't mean Sunni, Shia, Sufi, nothing of the sort. What I really mean is that we offer people only a singular monolithic narrative on what it means to be Muslim or who can be Muslim or what it means to look like you're Muslim. Things like, where's your hijab is often what I hear, or you don't look Muslim. Really? Because you've seen all billions of us, right? Sorry, to be snarky. And the reason for this is that we are only offered a caricature of what it means to be Muslim. Take a moment. Please name for me one cute, quirky TV show Muslim character for me, please. Give me one person who's more than just a story about a hijab on CNN, or a talking head about a violent hate crime or a ban, or someone who's more than the part of the homeland imagining. We have a culture and a community and a world that only says to us that we as Muslims are villains, threats, and thugs, only capable of sadness and despair. We have government-sanctioned policies and procedures that rationalize Islamophobia, right? We have these policies and procedures that, as a result, bleed into the culture, into the drinking water, and into the doing of people, leading to pig heads left on the steps of masjids and mosques, women foregoing hijab out of fear of having it pulled off her head if you're walking into the wrong store or wrong neighborhood, elementary schoolers accusing other kids of being part of ISIS. We also have moments a little bit more light. A recent experience, my sister's boyfriend, a non-Muslim, was asked if he used toilet paper at my parents' house. And when he asked, what do you ask? Basically, the person asking assumed that Muslims didn't have toilet paper because somehow we all magically have bidets. I wish we did, but we don't. And so I offer these because if you're only given one singular way of thinking about a community, your identity, then you can't think bigger or broader than that. Right? Language is the thing, is a vessel, is the opportunity for words to put flesh on our bones, to make us real, to make us imagined, to make us possible. The right words put flesh on us, and the wrong ones cut it off our bones and remove us from our own imagination. Thanks. So I ask you, which of your identities would you choose if you had to? Which is easier than the other ones to embody? Could you remove one over the other? And for so long, I thought I needed to do this. For so long, I thought I had to choose, but maybe I don't have to choose at all. Maybe it's important to remember that I, as a younger self, a current self, will have a future self. And in that in-between spaces where I grow and where I become and go into being, maybe the brink isn't actually a pitfall. The brink is not really a pitfall. Maybe it's an opportunity for breakthrough, for reinvention, for redefinition in our own words and doing. And if the brink moment is an opportunity to break through into who you can become, I'd like to share with you my breakthrough memory number 1. So breakthrough memory number 1. 1996, I am on the steps of my high school. I am wearing all black everything and a parasol in the middle of September. And a similarly dressed young woman approaches me, compliments me on my 18-hole Doc Martens, and then asks, "Are you gay?" And before I can say anything else, she breaks the ice some more and says, "I'm bisexual." And I'm standing there, breath stuck in my chest, staring at this teen goddess. Was she floating? I swear to God, she was floating. And a heartbeat in my crotch, and I have all these feelings, and I finally get to say, yes, I'm gay. I finally have the word on the outside for the feelings on the inside. Breakthrough memory number 2. It's 2001, and I am my second year of college. And in front of me, literally, is playing out the events of 9/11. I am both heartbroken and frightened. Sometimes I might say I'm not always the best Muslim, right? I don't do it right. But here's the truth. I refuse to let those monsters who are now reclaiming or taking Islam for themselves define it for me. I will not let any person define Islam for me by their actions. I make a commitment to my 6th grade self that I will never let her down again, and I will claim Islam for myself, and I will name myself for myself. And so I say, yes, I'm Muslim. Breakthrough memory number 3. It's 2011, and my dear friend Tana and I are approached and asked to take on this project. We don't actually know what this project will be. We just know it's going to be called Coming at Muslim, Radical Acts of Love. It is a commitment to being creative together, and we just know we're going to have 3 nights of some performance. We don't know what's going to be yet, but why not share the things that you love to do with the people you love? We take a leap of faith off a brink because both of us are tired of splitting ourselves in half and living on the edge of different identities, as if we can't be whole, as if we're dissonant. And so we take a leap of faith and land in the loving presence of queer-affirming Muslims, Muslim-affirming queers, trans folks who stand in solidarity with people of faith, cis and straight allies who stand in solidarity with gender nonconforming and non-hetero people. We meet atheists who defend our love of God. We find a community, and I find a voice, so I can tell my younger self, Wazina, Allah makes Muslims and Allah makes queers, and yes, you can be both, whole and complete.
Allahu Akbar, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
The azan, for Muslims and non-Muslims alike, is very familiar, often very comforting, even when you don't know what's being said. But we only ever hear the azan one way, in a man's voice. Why? Tradition. But does it have to be this way? When I listen to the azan in a woman's voice, while sometimes initially dissonant, mismatched, is still undeniably beautiful and rich. When I hear the azan in a woman's voice, it is a call, a charge, an invitation. Yes, it may be unfamiliar, and it may make us a little uncomfortable, but in that discomfort zone is where you grow. The azan in her voice is a call and a charge for reinvention, redefinition, to create in our own image and our own voices. Much like a breakthrough, much like the brink, it is an invitation to say to ourselves and to each other, I may be unconventional, but I am not impossible. Thank you.